What did Elizabeth I think of her mother, Anne Boleyn? Did Elizabeth I and her mother, Anne Boleyn, have much of a relationship? Anne was executed when Elizabeth was just a young girl, but that didn't mean Elizabeth just forgot about her. So what did she think about her mother? On the 19th of May 1536, Queen Anne Boleyn, second wife of King Henry VIII, was executed by beheading within the confines of the Tower of London. She had been queen for just 3 years. Elizabeth was 2 years and 8 months old when her mother was beheaded on the 19th of May 1536, 4 months after Catherine of Aragon's death from natural causes. Elizabeth was declared illegitimate and deprived of her place in the royal succession. 11 days after Anne Boleyn's execution, Henry married Jane Seymour. Elizabeth was placed in his household and carried the chrism, or baptismal cloth. At his christening, Anne and Henry's daughter, Elizabeth, who became Queen Elizabeth in 1558, was just a small child at the time of her mother's death. So how did Elizabeth view Anne as she grew up? The popular misconception is that Elizabeth didn't really regard her mother at all. She only mentioned twice in her life. In fact, Elizabeth mentioned her a good deal more than that. But you can see why Elizabeth didn't make a song and dance about her mother. She would have been upsetting swaths of the population by aligning herself to a woman who'd gone down as a scandal. So Elizabeth had to be careful not to associate too closely with her. Elizabeth expressed her loyalty in subtle ways. She promoted her Boleyn relatives at court, and she wore Anne's jewelry that said, "Elizabeth expressed her loyalty in subtle ways." She promoted her Boleyn relatives at court, and she wore Anne's jewelry. For example, she had a locket ring that contained 2 portraits, one of Elizabeth and the other of Anne. That locket ring was kept in a locked casket by Elizabeth until the day she died. It was clearly one of her most treasured possessions.